each week we focus on Shelton. And this week and every week it's brought to you by our Community Credit Union. Today on the air, I have got Shelton Police Chief Darren Moody. And let's say good morning to him. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are you today?
I am well. How are you?
Not bad. Trying to start off the new year.
Let's talk a little bit about the new year and the new look to the Shelton Police Department and the whole city of Shelton's website. There's a lot of good information on there, including the new mission statement and some other things.
It's an outstanding website they came up with.
It looks great.
It does. It's nice that we came into the 20th century.
What are some of the things that folks can find on here? I see links to school programs, the detectives, the employment and patrol. Some of these names that you'll see on here starting to get more limited too as folks are retiring.
Absolutely. You know, when I got here a couple of years ago, our median age was getting close to retirement. Mm-hmm. And so we've lost some retirements and some people moved on. And this year, unfortunately, we got a couple more coming that'll be sorely missed. Diana Hupp, our longtime administrative assistant, has announced she'll be retiring in March. And she kind of takes care of the place around there. Mm-hmm. And then Ses Mayavid, longtime detective there, he's going to call it a day and take off in a new career.
Okay.
So we'll be doing some adjustments. We're going to be doing some restructuring to make sure we get proper supervision and people trained up and back on the streets.
The other thing that we have been talking about and posting here on iFiber One News Radio was the passing of Robert Dunlap, died Monday at 71. He was the manager of the Shelton Animal Shelter, but also worked for the city and was in working with animal control and things like that.
He was so active in this community. I mean, he helped with the sheriff's search and rescue, his church. He managed our animal shelter. And with his passing, it's just, you can't replace him.
Worked in MACECOM and parking enforcement, and as well as an animal control officer.
And, you know, in talking to former chiefs and administrators in this department that were talking about him recently with me, they said the same thing we all know. And they said, we had more complaints about Bob Dunlap than we had about anybody else in the department, because whatever happens, if you start citing parked cars, you're going to get complaints.
Yeah.
And taking people's dogs. Mm-hmm. And he said those are the two things that got more complaints in this department. But, you know, Bob did so for many years. And that was after he retired from the LA Police Department.
Yeah. Wow.
So he had a long career, and this was sudden, and it impacted us all. So, and on the business side of that, our animal shelter is not staffed right now. So we're trying to figure out how we're going to do that.
Additionally, with parking enforcement hasn't been a main focus over the last couple of years. Is that going to start up again, or maybe even with animal control?
Well, the city manager and I are working together with staff around there to kind of look at overall in the city, what can we do different? What can we restructure and look at? We don't need a full-time animal control officer.
No.
Can we mesh that with something else and partner it with that? In other aspects of the city. So we're looking at a whole city rather than just as the police department and what we can do differently. You know, I even approached the sheriff at one point a while back about, he has an animal control officer but no facility. I've got a facility and no animal control officer.
Sounds like a great match there.
And it wasn't going to work for him, unfortunately, so we weren't able to come together on that one. But I think partnerships are going to be the key.
Sure, for sure. The memorial service tentatively scheduled for February 4th, and we'll have more details on that forthcoming as well on iFiber One News Radio. Into the first of the year, 20 days or so into the new year, how's the city been doing?
We've been doing good. We had a little uptick in criminal activity November, December.
Okay.
As anticipated, usually people are, moving around in the evening hours, and the burglaries went up a little bit, vehicle thefts went up a little bit, but overall we're holding our own and doing just fine with the coverage. And we're starting off this new year. We're moving forward with a couple things. I talked a long time ago about crime-free multi-housing, helping renters and the tenants and the landlords screen better, work better with us. Usually it's one problem in a rental that can be a magnet for others. And so Paul Campbell, our school resource officer, is going to put on a training class with that with some of the landlords around town. So that'll be nice.
What would that be? Just additional security background checks, or
they can do different screening mechanisms. We also do the crime prevention through environmental design. It's this SEPTED. We go out and do an inspection of their property and tell them, look, these trees block this area. This lighting could be improved.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of it's landscaping. I know you talked about the facelift on the library over there. And we've said for months now of, short of us getting out and actually walking there, wouldn't it be nice if you could see into that area? Everybody's safety improves.
Yeah.
And I know it's tough when you see trees come down and people go, oh my gosh, you're changing the landscape. We're changing it for safety and better reasons. And why not show off the library instead of hide it behind the trees?
It is a nice looking library.
It is.
How are the neighborhood watches going?
Outstanding. In fact, I just had a gentleman come in the other day that just moved into a neighborhood that has a neighborhood watch, and he asked about volunteering at the police department, and so he's filled out an application to volunteer with us.
That's good.
We started speaking of coming into the 20th century with the with the Facebook and other things, we started an email grouping with the neighborhood watches, so I can email the whole neighborhood watch directly.
Wow.
And give them tips and ideas on what's going on, and so we're going through that process. We're moving forward.
That is very cool.
Yes.
We can get a lot of this information as well on the all-new City of Shelton's website, ci.shelton.wa.us. We'll put the links to that in the show notes. You can also find them on social media. Very active now, facebook.com/City of Shelton Wa, and on Twitter as well at City of Shelton Wa. Shelton Police Chief Darren Moody in here today to help me focus on Shelton. Have a good rest of your day and a good weekend.
You too. And one more plug for the social media is they've got an opening now at the city for communications. We had an intern come in and help us with all this, and now they're making it a full-time position. So there's a job opening if anybody's got the interest in helping us with communications.
Can check out that link on the city's website. Darren, thank you much.
Have a great day.
Have a good one.
Do you know you have access to the fastest internet in Washington State? Switch to iFiber Communications right now and take advantage of our special offers. Pay only $29.95 for 100 megabit high-speed internet, or get 3 months of internet absolutely free. That's right, $29.95 for 100 megabit speeds or 3 months of internet free. Shop, stream, and game like never before with iFiber Communications high-speed internet. Call 360-427-4000 or check us online at ifiber.tv. Subject to credit approval, valid on a 24-month contract.